The night before, when I'm thinking about the cases for the next day, if it's a case I don't do very often or a new case, I will go through visualizing it repeatedly until I feel comfortable that the steps are going to follow without effort. I don't want to be thinking when I'm operating, so I want it to be gone through enough times in my head that I can just let it go during the surgery. So then I usually head over to our surgical simulator where I can do a brief cataract warm-up course. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it kind of turns you on to the fine motor skills that you're going to be using during surgery. Then head over to the operating room and start my preparations there. As soon as I get in here, it's when I switch over to not thinking about anything outside of the next patient that's coming. And so however much time I'm allowed is how I do that. And usually I'll take a few minutes for this to make sure I have the plan correct, make sure if there's any contingencies I knew about from seeing the patients before. I'm focused on exactly what I have for this case, which eye, which lens, any specific things going on. Once I get out here, it's different than inside the room. Inside the room, it's busy and it's hectic and people are asking questions. And so out here, it's quiet. There's usually not other people out here. And so this is when I take the time to check in with myself. And there's no embarrassment. There's no one walking by. There's nothing to deal with. I will just close my eyes and I'll check in with myself and say, how do I feel? Am I feeling nervous about my performance? How's my confidence? If I've had a rough case recently, sometimes my confidence is a little shaky and I've got to do some positive self-talk and visualize the part of it that I'm nervous about. Then I'll scrub up, and then once I scrub up, I don't actually consciously think about anything anymore. My time to purposefully think about how I'm going to do something is over, and you just do it. As I'm sitting here doing it and I see them in there getting ready, it's you get that building of energy, that. It reminds me of a pre-race or a pre-game excitement where you're getting more adrenaline because it's performance time coming soon, but it's not a negative energy. It's not too much. I'm walking in, and the first thing you do is you get draped in your gowns and drape up the patient. And really from then on, I think the most important thing for me is just to let it happen and not think. There's kind of some natural breaks in the surgery, and during each of those breaks, and as I sit down to start the case, I'm kind of checking my points where I hold tension, my feet, my shoulders, and saying okay, am I holding tension? And then if I am, I'm why am I doing that? Is there something that's not right that is ticking something off, or am I just carrying some other stress that I need to let go of? So then I'll kind of zoom out, check the situation, make sure that there's not something wrong that's causing me to have stress, and then if I can't find anything, then I just let it go, focus back in. Then at the end of surgery, kind of have that release, kind of okay, that's good. There's a physical level of checking in between and recovering, and then also an emotional level, especially after a difficult case, of just saying, let myself run through that and then set it aside and start over.
Well, the impact of this training has been immense. I mean, I think that the residents are now in their third year of us, just kind of implementing. And now I have noticed a distinct difference in the way that the residents are handling complications, which is probably one of my biggest goals, okay? Surprisingly, in my own personal life, I've noticed that there's been an improvement. So the way that I handle challenges in my personal life, I play sports. My wife just got back from a deployment. I was raising a 4.5-year-old daughter by myself, single parent, and trying to run a residency. There are many life stressors, and the same principles that are being applied in the surgical curriculum are easily applied to living in general. So. Personally, the impact has been great, and I've noticed just over the last couple of years the impact of the residents in terms of their ability to get through complications has been much easier.